Okay, I want to make a couple of quick videos. We've got our cats. I'm meeting the Napa guy tomorrow. We're taking him up to Kentucky. Me and my wife just went out and we did our big hero picture, which I'll post here in the video. You can see what we were doing there. But I'm looking at all these cats and they're so different. And I get a lot of questions from a lot of guys, well, why are these cats worth more money, or why are those cats worth more money? My cat's got spots, how come it's not $200 or $300? So what I'm going to try to do throughout I'm going to do a couple little videos here where I'm going to explain some of the different things to look at a cat, because this is you got to look at your fur very objectively. You can't let emotion, when you catch one of these cats, it means something to you. This is a product that's going to someone that's going to make a product out of it. They're looking at it for what it is and not the emotional attachment to that. But I want to start with the bellies. Now, all these cats you're going to be seeing came from the same place during the same time period, but they look drastically different, which is normal. Here in Tennessee, or here in the East, this is kind of what the standard cats look like, even though these are from South Texas. They got decent fur on them. They got decent fur on the bellies, but their bellies are not that wide and they're not that clear. We're going to go into the clearness here in a minute. Now, these are brighter than a lot of the ones I catch here at home, but these did come from Texas. I've got just a pocket phone. It's probably, I doubt it's 3 inches wide. That is as wide for a reference point as the belly is on this cat. It looks more when you got the hide on the cat than it does when you flesh him. You see how much of the brown and everything comes over to the side? It's just not very much. This is a little bit better belly. You can see more of the spots, but it's very narrow. Here's a smaller cat. It's just narrow. This is what you get more in the East than you do when you get further out west, when you hear about the high dollar. Now, this one on the end's a little bit better. It's not that wide, but as you'll be able to see the difference, this is what, when they talk about cats, they talk about brightness. This is a very bright cat. This is a pretty good dollar cat. The fur's not quite as good as this one. The spots are very definite. I mean, it looks like you almost went in there and dyed these things, but it's still not that wide. Now I'm going to come over to some better cats. When they talk about bellies, I'm going to set these next to each other, and you can see the width difference between this and this. Plus, this is a brighter cat. This has got a little bit of tinge in the bottom, but because of the spots and it's still such a bright cat, that's going to be a good belly. You see the difference? When you set cats side by side, this stuff becomes very clear, but if you're new into trapping, it's not always that case. So this is the bellies. Now look at the difference of the spots of this one. I mean, not only do you have some color going up the side and everything, and on this one you don't. These spots are really, really prominent. Now, when you catch this cat, it means a lot to you, I understand that, but those spots are pretty weak compared to this, or compared to that. You can see how dark they are compared to that. This is what they're looking for between the two. This is when you hear about spotted cats or spotted bellies. Now, the white on these bellies, on these clear ones, are white. I mean, it's as white as you can. I mean, it's just as white as paper. And these are not. Same cat, same place, just the difference of them. Now, the reason I wanted to say that, because we do so much stuff on the internet, a lot of guys are thinking that fur buyers are screwing them or not, or a predator caller hears in a magazine that Nevada cats will catch, they'll catch those cats and they'll bring $1,100 or $1,200 or top out at $14 or whatever they're going to do this year with prices up. So they assume if they go catch a cat like this, that's a $1,000 cat. Guys, that's not a $1,000 cat. It's just not. Neither is this one. Now I'm going to show you one of the better cats that we caught, which looks more, as far as from this quick observation, what a Nevada cat looks like. It's got good spots. It's got really good fur. It's got good fur on the back. But a Nevada cat's belly is I mean, the fur on there is like this big. Like when we catch them in New Mexico, the fur on the belly, it's like a coat on its belly, but the back hair of the coat. And this back hair that's on a Nevada cat, and this isn't, this is South Texas, feels fluffy just like this, and it looks like a great big teddy bear standing up about that tall. That's why those cats are bringing that, because it's the best fur of any type of cat that you can get on the market. Now, one other thing about the bellies is what you're going to hear. Buyers will get on to people and they'll say, well, that's got milk spots, or it's tinged or brown or whatever. And I'm going to show you some of those. Just keep it. Now, if you look, I'm gonna grab a white-bellied cat so you can see the difference between these. This is not a bad belly, but you see this brownness in here. That you will get docked for that. You didn't do anything wrong because you caught the cat, but it is different than one that doesn't have any of this brown in here, because when they make these coats, they're looking for the brightest bellies they can. You can really see the difference on some of these. I mean, it's heavily spotted. You got markings all up the back, but the belly is not white like that. Here's another one that you can see the difference. The difference. People call these milk stains. These are females. That should be able to get that point across. But when you see these bellies, and here's one that's even a little harder to tell the whiteness difference between these two. Even though that's somewhat white, this is more like what we get here in the East. It is somewhat white, but it's not brilliant white like this is. And the cats that we catch in Texas, for the most part, are what they call these really bright cats. I mean, they're just bright. And the cats that you catch a lot in the East, like I catch around here in Alabama, different places, they look more like this than they do even like the better cats I showed you up on the table. So here's a good brilliant white that you can really see the contrast in between there. So that's the difference of the bellies of these cats. Now, a cat, when you go catch him, it doesn't make any difference what exactly he looks like. Guys, he's a cat. And he's one of the trophy animals. There's a lot of guys right now that are doing trophy trapping, trying to get one of these animals so bad. Do not get wrapped up. Well, that's not a good cat because he's got a little bit of stain on his belly. I mean, go out and trap and have a good time, and whatever you catch and you sell, and whatever the market is, the market is. But don't get so tore up. If you're in Alabama, you're not going to have $300 cats this year. I'm sorry, you're just not. If you're in Georgia, it's not going to happen. If you're in Maine, even though you got fur on there, you just don't have the bellies and the spots to go along with it. Go out and enjoy the trap line, and don't worry so much or think that someone's trying to take advantage of you when you go to sell that fur, whether it be in Canada or a local guy, because each one of these cats is different. Every one of your cats are different, and every one of the cats they get at North America is different. The beauty in the cats are in the eye of the beholder, and that's the guy that's at the grading table. So take good care of them, do the best you can with them, and just enjoy yourself out trapping, and don't be so tore up, like I said, on if the belly's perfect on this one or not. In the next video I'm going to talk a little bit about colors and the backs.